which character deserved better?
Yeah, and since you won, you got to go first, so take it away. Who do you think? Who deserved better than what they got right now?
So my choice is everybody's favorite green character, Piccolo.
Not Dende?
No. So Piccolo, he's the boy. Love Piccolo. But if you think about it, what's he actually managed to really achieve since the start of Z?
Inner peace? I don't
He's
know. He meditates a lot.
basically other than an adopted son. he's he had his moments, and he obviously managed to help defeat Raditz. He technically defeated Goku.
See?
And then from then on, he had his sacrificial moment. He trained Gohan, and he was doing something, and he was growth as a character, and it was really really good.
Hmm.
And then after that, I mean, he defeated some Cybermen. He got flexed a little bit, but after that, he just didn't really do anything. He had all these evolutions and everything that just did nothing. He's
Yeah.
basically Vegeta, but not quite. Like he fused with Nile. He fused with Nile, and he's like a nail, and he's just he did nothing. He slowed Frieza down for 2 minutes, and then he gets annihilated.
Yeah.
Yep, yep. He
Mhm.
fuses with Kami, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, you're so powerful!" He goes up against 17, and he kind of goes head to head with him for a little bit, and he Hellzone grenades him and everything, and then it's like, "Oh yeah, his super powerful Hellzone grenade doesn't actually do anything to him because he just uses his big green ball, so he doesn't actually do anything." He batters Cell about in his first form when he first meets him, but then later, after Cell's simply absorbed a couple of more humans, first form Cell absolutely ruins his day.
Yeah.
Like, and then just from then on, further and further and further, he just does nothing other than teaching moments and small teaching moments like the fusion dance he helps
Mm.
with. So he has these little pop-up spots, and I just think for this character that was supposed to be so important, that he teetered off to become very little. He was the spawn of the Demon King Piccolo, and he basically just became an adoptive father to his nemesis, basically his son. Like it shows
Yeah.
growth as a character, but it just doesn't. He in himself hasn't really done anything, and now in Super, he's a babysitter,
Yeah.
and he has become Yamcha of the new one, because in the Black Arc, because I know you're going to pick Yamcha, I know for a fact you are.
Spoilers, come on.
um, I mean, you said it yourself, really, in the video arc. In the in the Black Arc, they want to do the evil containment wave, yeah,
Mhm.
to trap Zamsu and everything because they're immortal. And they basically made Piccolo a joke because he obviously was, I know the evil containment wave because of Master Roshi and Piccolo using it against them. It's part of everything I know. And they're like, and Goku's like, no, it's all right. Roshi can teach me. See ya. And they basically pull him and makes a YouTube video of him doing it, and then she's like, "There you go. Are you happy? At least I watched." And basically, it just makes a joke of him in that entire arc. And
Yeah.
then, of course, there is the Frost incident where he finally starts to flex a little bit, and we see him split forms, and he's charging up, and we think he's finally going to do it. He's finally going to knock someone out. He's finally going to take someone down. We've been waiting for this. We've been waiting for Piccolo to finally do something, and then Frost just nicks him in the arm and knocks him out. And
Mm.
it's like, are you serious? They've done him dirty. They've done him dirty, and you just can't believe it.
Yeah.
And then it's like, I can't believe they've done this to him. And then the tournament of power comes around, and a invisible tiny green bug hits him and knocks him off the edge and knocks him out. Like, what the hell? He enters 2 tournaments and gets knocked out in the stupidest ways I've ever seen. Like, it's so ridiculous. And so he goes from being this evil spawn of Goku's, like of Demon King Piccolo, Goku's nemesis, to a babysitter who gets beaten in some of the most ridiculous ways possible. And it's just, he's become the fighter joke of Super. He's become the one who gets beaten. Like, Tien's always getting beaten in dumb ways, but it's never really been not that way to me.
I
I
guess so.
suppose he did it. He was good. He had his true shining moments, like when he's beaten Goku. Tien, he has defeated Goku.
Yeah.
He's had his shining moment.
Mm-hmm.
Piccolo, he was this close to beating Goku, and then like he broke all his limbs and everything. He had him on the cusp, and then he still lost.
Yeah.
Like Piccolo's never had any true moment, really. Like,
I guess so. Unless you count him killing Goku and Raditz at the same time, he must have got some kind of kick out of that. Just like, haha, yes, I finally did it.
yeah.
Yeah, but
But
now I have
it's
to look
like
after this kid.
he didn't do it, but he didn't do it himself, really, did he?
True.
And it must be a sore point that to defeat an enemy, his nemesis had to hold him still for him. So even then, it's bitter. Like there's nothing really there. He's became the most positive points, and like I love Piccolo. He's one of my favorite characters.
Same.
And this is why I feel they've done him dirty, and especially why I just think it's so like how they did him wrong against Frost and Demom and Universe Survival was just, it was painful to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just think they truly done him dirty because, yeah, it's like he's never had he's had his moments with like saving Gohan and everything like that, and it's like, but he's never had his win. I don't think, and I think he deserved a win. I think he should have defeated Frost because it would have been like, yes, this is what we've been waiting for. This is he's got his split techniques, he's got his mirror image, he's got his charge. And takes him out, and that would have been great because it would have been something that we feel he deserves his moment, and he just didn't get it.
This is where the new movie that's coming out, Superhero, this is where this might rectify some of these damages to Piccolo, as it seems like Gohan and Piccolo are going to be the main two. So it'll be interesting to see. There'll definitely be some fights with Piccolo and Gohan, maybe together, maybe separately, and it'll be good to see. I think Piccolo will have his shining moment in this film. Since it seems like even though Goku and Vegeta are in the film, I think they're definitely going to take a bit of a backseat and not be around as much. So I'm looking forward to it. And as you've just went through everything that Piccolo's done there, I kind of forgot that he's been put into this like backseat role where he has been forgotten about a bit, because I didn't realize it was quite that bad. But now that I'm thinking about it, it's like, yeah, like Goku and Vegeta and I guess Trunks are the only three that ever get much of a shine. Even Gohan to an extent doesn't really do too much since the Buu saga. Like he hasn't done that much in Super, to be honest. So yeah, it's like apart from the Saiyans, which makes sense. The show is around the Saiyans, but Piccolo was a huge part, and he hasn't done anything of note for quite a long time now.
Yeah, he has become a little bit of the amateur of Super. He's because he kind of makes me think like everyone will always remember that Yamcha self-destruction. It'll always be a big part of Dragon Ball Z. Always. But when I think about it, that is one hell of a way for a character to go out. But if you think about it, Piccolo's had two terrible eliminations, like really bad ways to go out. Like to me, it's 2-1 when you think about it. Whilst it's not mainly as obvious, he's been defeated in two very embarrassing ways twice and
Yeah.
more recently,
Mm.
and now he's just a babysitter to Pan. With
Yeah.
teaching art. So I really hope this new film focuses more around them. I think it's going to focus a lot on Pan,
Mm.
and I think it's going to focus a lot more on Pickle and that, because I just don't see how the Red Ribbon Army can be powerful enough to go up against gods. Like, I think they're going to be distracted. Something's going to have them, because what's going to be more androids, something like that. Like I'd be very.
Fusion.
I do not know. Yeah, I do not know how they're gonna the Red Ribbon, or how they're gonna step it up to beat gods. Like that would be very impressive.
No.
I think it's going to be more Z fighters and Pan and hybrids based,
Mm.
definitely.
The only thing I'm thinking is in the trailer they kind of mentioned, well, they showed something like a screen and it had Goku, Vegeta, and Boo on the screen with these new guys, whoever they are, and there was like tubes on the wall and that type of thing. And I'm thinking, well, Cell was created from the cells of all of these world class fighters, and that's how he's like a mixture of everyone, kind of. Maybe these two new guys are going to be similar, and maybe they're going to be made of Goku, Vegeta, and Buu, like what they've shown, and that's why they're super strong. And it's going to be similar to Cell, except they maybe fuse. I'm only thinking they fuse because there's two of them that look very similar, and it would make sense, I guess,
I
for
think I
them.
would be incredibly disappointed by that, if I'm honest. Because that would be Robin from Cell
Mm,
and stealing from Android. What do you call him? The 13
yeah,
uh, trucker hat.
trigger that one. Yeah,
Yeah, because he fused. He's an android that fused.
yeah.
So they're basically taking a non-canon film from however many years ago, Cell Saga, and just combining them, and that would just be
Potentially.
so lazy.
I mean, that's
Um,
just my
like
theory,
I've
at
just
least.
got yeah, no, it's a good theory, because like it could work,
Mm,
but I really hope that they did such a good job with Broly that I've just got such high hopes for them,
yeah.
that that's the thing. Like Broly was just fantastic. It was what 45 minutes of pure amazing fighting.
Mm,
I think the fight fight screen was like 45 minutes
yeah.
or something insane like that,
That's right.
and not a second of it was bad.
Mm.
And I just want more of that. That's all I want.
Yeah, but
Um,
that's the thing. Can you live up to these expectations? Like the past few movies that I've done was Battle of Gods, which introduced Beerus and Whis, who are major characters. Then they did Frieza's Return, which was the first time seeing Frieza in forever, and him going golden, which was also huge because he is a fan favorite villain, the best
yeah,
villain on the show. And then doing Broly, who was everyone's favorite like movie villain, and turned him canon and set him like rebirthed him pretty much and did it right, and everyone was excited for that. Now we already know it's Red Ribbon, who people know it's the androids, but the androids were never like the top tier, you know.
yeah.
And these new villains being androids or whatever related to the Red Ribbon Army in some way, it's not going to live up to the expectations of the other films. So I think it's still going to be a good film, but I can't see it being better. The animation could be better because, especially since they're doing a lot of CGI stuff as well as the animation and all the 3D work, it will look good and there probably will be some good fights. But overall, as main villains, I can't see it being better than any of the last three.
It's weird to think that selling that links in with Red Ribbon when you think about it.
Yeah.
Like when I think back, if you told me that when I first watched Dragon Ball Z and talked about things like Red Ribbon,
Mm.
I wouldn't have had a clue what you're talking about. When you're talking about Cell and everything like that, like I
Mm.
was just okay. I wouldn't have had a clue, but when you look back and link all the dots and everything like that, it's weird to think that everything actually ties in.
Yeah,
And
and now
sounds
you have the
classy.
hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, it is interesting, but I guess we'll just see how the movie goes, if I'm honest.
yeah.
But yeah, my pick anyway for
Yes,
who
we've gone on a
deserves
little bit of a
better.
tangent,
We
haven't we?
did. We talked about the movie for a bit there. But, you kept mentioning, oh, Piccolo's turned into the Yamcha of Super. Well, who deserves better than Piccolo? Yamcha deserves better than Piccolo. Alright? You made a joke out of him by comparing Piccolo to him, so of course Yamcha deserves better. And I could end my entire argument right here, and he deserves the win with nothing else even said. But let's just talk about him just a little bit, because Yamcha is incredible and he deserves the respect that hasn't been put on his name since original Dragon Ball, which is a long time ago. Like, how long ago? It was 1980s? Unbelievable. Almost 40 years of Yamcha being disrespected. It went on too long. So yeah, you've got to remember, in original Dragon Ball, Yamcha is introduced as this badass bandit fighter. He's got a transforming cat sidekick. And, he's running around training in the desert with his sword and everything. He's a cool guy, you see him. And it's like, okay, yeah, Yamcha's like the older, better version of Goku at this point. He's got the longer hair, he can fight, he's good. And his only downside at the time when you first meet him is that he's shy and he can't talk to women. That's his one downfall. He's shy, can't do anything. He gets embarrassed easy by any woman. But he did overcome that and he started dating Bulma. And good for him, good for him. He's doing something that a lot of people have wanted to do, I bet. And the disrespect starts straight away from that point. It's all downhill from there, Yamcha starts off strong, being a cool guy. He overcomes his shyness to date Bulma, and that's his peak. He peaked way, way, way too early. There is not another moment where anything is better for Yamcha. Because after that, he's been training in the desert for years. So he wants to enter into the World Martial Arts Tournament to see how he fares against other people. And you've got to remember, this is a global event. Everyone in the world is available. And he becomes a top 8 fighter. He gets through to the final 8. And this is Yamcha. He is a strong fighter. Of course he's going to get through the final 8. But because of unfair matchups, he gets matched up against Master Roshi, who is Jackie Chun in this tournament, but he's in disguise. And Master Roshi just embarrasses him and eliminates him. And, of course, Master Roshi goes on to win that tournament. So that's just unfair matchup, Yamcha got through the final 8. If he faced pretty much anyone else, bar maybe Goku, I think he could have beat Krillin. I think he could have beat anyone else in the final 8. But he got matched up against Master Roshi, who won it. That's just unlucky. That's fair enough. So next time he comes back, he tries to enter the tournament again. This time he gets matched up against Tien in the final 8. And Tien is the new antagonist of the arc at the time. He's the bad guy. He's the one that everyone's looking out for. And of course they've got to make Tien look strong, otherwise what's the point? So what do? He breaks Yamcha's leg. And because of that, Yamcha's eliminated. And not only is he eliminated from the tournament, he's completely wiped out of the storyline because Yamcha doesn't take part in the entire Demon King Piccolo saga at all because he's healing a broken leg because of Tien. So they completely disrespect him by taking him out the entire story, never mind just losing a fight. There's more disrespect. Then the third tournament comes around, and again he enters it, and he's like, right, this is my chance. The first time, I got matched up against Master Roshi. That's just unlucky. Fair enough. He went on to win the entire thing. Second time, he gets his leg broken by Tien and is eliminated. Okay, fine. Third time, final 8 again. And who is his opponent? It's only God himself, Kami, in disguise as Heeroh, as a human. And of course, Kami embarrasses the hell out of Yamcha and even headbutts him in the balls. So, again, Yamcha completely disrespected by a literal god. and is eliminated from the tournament.
But to be fair, it took God to take him down.
It did.
If anyone's gonna eliminate you, you want it to be God.
But out of all people, Kami is completely embarrassing Yamcha as Heeroh. He's doing the fake moves, he's tripping up, he's kicking him, he's headbutting him, all this stuff. He's the clumsy fighter. That's kind of his nickname in this fight as Heeroh. And Yamcha gets completely embarrassed and eliminated. So again, disrespect on show for Yamcha here. Give Yamcha respect. It's needed. And yeah, after this, he's just like, right, okay, well, I've been embarrassed 3 times now. So you know what? Fighting might not be my thing, so I'm just going to go away because I'm still strong, I'm still fast, I can control ki, I can fly. I'm going to become a baseballer. And that's what he does. He goes on to become one of the best baseballers of all time, which is great. Good for him. He actually uses his power and his brain for something smart, whilst Goku's off on a farm, like harvesting vegetables and stuff for Chi-Chi. Yamcha's raking in the money as a baseballer, which fair play to him. That's smart. But he knows he can't fight anymore. And even from that point, Bulma breaks up with Yamcha, and Yamcha's left devastated by this, of course, and Yamcha's left on his own, and this is why he's kind of pushed into the background, because this is the point at the end of Dragon Ball where Yamcha takes a back seat, because in Dragon Ball Z, he's already a side player, he's not involved as much. He peaked during Dragon Ball, and you find out quite early in Dragon Ball Z, we have these 2 Saiyans coming to Earth. And Yamcha, of course, he spends a year of his life training to save the entire planet, along with everyone else, of course. But he is willing to sacrifice himself and fight to save the world. And what does he do? He is the first person to jump in there to try and take out some of these Cybermen. And it's going well until he's sneak attacked and exploded. And that's how Yamcha dies. The complete disrespect on show again. They made Yamcha be a little bit too cocky, a little bit distracted.
And don't show off. Don't show off.
He is trying to prove that he's worthwhile. He's been embarrassed so many times, and he puts himself forward to be the first person to fight, and he's doing well. And again, they make him get embarrassed by getting blown up by this Cyberman who isn't even much of a threat, in all honesty, but yeah, Yamcha still dies to him. It's like, come on, what else is he supposed to do? He just spent an entire year of his life training, and then whilst he's dead, he finds out, his ex-girlfriend starts dating the guy who came to destroy the planet, and all of a sudden, she's pregnant and had a baby with him, and Yamcha's just there like, what happened? What happened? I did all of this for the world and to prove to Bulma that I'm a good guy, and yeah, okay, she goes off with the guy who tried to kill everyone. Great! And they've had a kid. And then, the disrespect comes even harder, because after this point, after the Saiyan saga and after the Frieza saga, he completely takes a backseat. He's no longer involved in anything much anymore. He helps out slightly with the Cell Juniors, but apart from that, that's kind of it. He gets killed by Dr. Gero, putting a hand through his stomach, his chest region, and he dies for a second time. And, he's just a background.
He survives just because he gets senzued by...
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, but...
I don't know how he survives. Literally through his heart, but whatever.
Sense. Yeah, but now it's at the point where in Super, even the group doesn't care about him. Literally everyone else is better than Yamcha at this point, because he is standing there. He knows about the tournament power. He's like, yeah, they'll ask me. Don't worry about it. And no one even brings up his name. He's left alone with Poir, just thinking, yeah, they'll come see me soon. They'll come see me. They'll ask soon. And nothing happens. And it's like, poor Yamcha. He's being completely disrespected that even his own friends have forgot about him. Who is he? Like, come on. He deserves better. Piccolo got mentioned. Piccolo went off to the tournament. Yamcha has been left in the dirt. He is a great fighter. He was a top 8 in 3 tournaments. He was just as strong as Goku at a time. and he tried to keep up the training all the way. Of course, he's not as strong, but as far as it goes with like Tien and Krillin, and maybe even Piccolo, probably not Piccolo, but he's still strong. He can hold his own, maybe against someone weaker, but he's still one of the top fighters in the world. And even his friends don't even talk to him anymore or think about him. And it's so, so sad. And the one moment, he got one moment to shine, and that was when he was dead, because of course he only shines when he's dead. And the Ginyu Force go to King Kai's planet. He does defeat Recoome, which, fair enough, but that is his one thing that he manages to do in the entire show.
Disagree.
Disagree?
Disagree.
How can you disagree?
Yeah, because he beats Goku. Basically, he defeats Goku in his entirety up until one moment, and that is when Bulma approaches him and scares him off. But he outright beats Goku. He fights Goku and defeats him, and he would have won the fight until his shyness. How many people can say they beat Goku to that level?
Yeah, but I mean, Tambourine defeated Goku.
People? Yeah,
you can't say Tambourine's better than Piccolo either. It doesn't happen.
Oh, actually, and he also didn't he go up against Tambourine as well, and I think, or at least one of Demon King's Piccolo's minions, he fought for a little while, and he held his own for a little bit, and he held his own with a broken leg. So he was getting beaten, but he was still holding his own a little bit with a broken leg. So that shows that he's got something in him. And I mean, and you said it yourself, he got to show off. He flexes the best baseball player. Can Piccolo say he was the best baseball player?
You can say he's the best driver out of all of them in the show, since he did take driving lessons. He can drive.
The best babysitter of hybrid Saiyans. Like,
he's the best at meditating. He's the best at looking angry. He's the best at sitting cross-legged.
Yeah. But yeah, like not many. Like he full-on defeated Goku, other than Bulma turning up. Like Piccolo defeated Goku until Goku got a shot in. So Goku outright defended himself. Like he beat Piccolo. Whereas Goku did nothing of his own to stop Yamcha from beating him. It was somebody else's intervention that stopped it.
True, but obviously the power levels are a lot different at the time, and you can't exactly match up Goku then compared to when he was fighting Piccolo or anyone else.
I think you could say that about Z and Super. Like, it's
true, but you can say that. But of course, everyone does get stronger. But Yamcha doesn't get a big moment of shine again, and the thing where he beats Recoome doesn't even happen in the manga. So it's like it is filler, and it doesn't even really matter. Yamcha, you can't. I refuse to accept that Piccolo deserves better than Yamcha. I refuse. And if this poll happens to take Piccolo's side, then I quit. I'm not doing this again.
No more Dragon Ball podcast.
No more Dragon Ball podcast. I'm threatening the podcast. Yamcha deserves this win.
No, I think Yamcha's had his one bad death. Piccolo's had his two bad eliminations. Don't care what anyone says. That's 2 embarrassments to 1.
Nah, Yamcha had 3 embarrassing tournaments. He had 3 embarrassing tournaments and didn't even get invited to the Tournament of Power. So, it doesn't even compare.